Okay. All right. So welcome to Sunday Night Restorative. It's so great to have you all here, but especially this week because of this being a Haiti fundraiser. And there's no pressure at all. It's just something I like to do that, if I get donations, I'm going to funnel them over to this group that I've worked with in Haiti. So it helps me feel like we can do something. So I appreciate your consideration and your attendance. So bring your hands down, face down on your thighs, sit up tall, and then cast your gaze down. Take a deep breath in and full breath out. Inhale, lift through the spine. Slowly, on the exhale, let it be full, let it be long, let it feel like it releases effort. Inhale again through the nose, feeling that pulling sensation up through the crown of your head. On the exhale, softening down, knees, ankles, thighs, release. Inhale again. And exhale fully. Just noticing where there's tension here in your body today. Where you feel really balanced. Just where you are. Check in with yourself. So however you have put yourself in a seat that is sustainable, I want you to now visualize your spine from like a lateral view. So as if you were standing to the side of your posture here. You were looking at yourself from the side. And if you had X-ray vision, you could see all the bones in the spine. So visualize how that appears. So starting with the base of the spine, the tailbone, I want you to just, in your mind's eye, guide your attention from the tailbone up as it curves outward through the lumbar and sacral area of the pelvis. Feel how it curves inward to the small of the back. Feel and see how it curves back outward to the thoracic spine. And how that reaches all the way to the top of the rib cage where it actually curves forward again for the cervical spine. And then again curves once more towards the skull. If you could draw a picture of this shape in your mind, or even with a pencil, just notice those curves. They're not at fixed angles. In fact, we all have slightly different ones. But this miracle, this marvel of engineering, it supports our skeleton, our organs, allows us to balance, allows us to do all kinds of cool tricks like riding, swimming, standing on our heads. Just kind of focus, meditate just a few breaths here on that shape. And we can take some wisdom from this in that the straight line is not always the most efficient or the best way to carry weight, to carry yourself through whatever you're walking through. But it might take various turns and curves and pushing out and pulling in, like a meandering river before you find your way. Just take in the miracle that is your spine, that is your physical body, that is your mental body, your emotional body. And there's a Sanskrit term called aparigraha, which can be translated as non-grasping, non-stealing. And what it refers to in yoga philosophy is the understanding that you have all that you need. That we don't need to look outside of what we already have been given to find balance, to find happiness and satisfaction. That everything we need, everything of value has already been given to us. But like the shape of the spine, you can kind of go down detours and make wrong turns and be distracted by shiny things and status, objects. We don't really need to do that. We just need to understand that we are whole just the way we are. And so that creates a natural abundance, a natural generosity. We don't need to take more than we should. Still in this same posture with your eyes closed, bring your hands to heart center, and let's open the practice today with a single Om. You can join me or you can just listen. So inhale fully and exhale for Om. Place your hands down, blink open your eyes. And then come out of the meditation. So our first posture will be a supported child's pose. I have my blanket here. So I like to have mine open like in a rectangle shape just down below. Oh, there's somebody who just joined. Can you hear me okay? Oh, there she is. Yeah, she's muted. Okay, you're professional. Welcome. Taking your bolster or your pillow, we'll have it like so. So if you're using this blanket here, which is really nice for the knees and for the ankles to have a little padding, then you bring it right up to the base of the bolster. And if you don't have a bolster, of course, a sofa cushion or a pillow would work. And you can either just be here for a supported child's pose, or you can bring your block underneath like so. So we bring our knees to either side of the bolster. And then here, if you have difficulty with your ankles, I would recommend rolling a little bit under here so that you support the ankle, so the ankle is not quite at the acute angle of being flat. And then you rest your torso down with the left temple placed at the top of the bolster. If you use the block, you have room to put the hands underneath or keep them like so. If you have trouble with your knees, and this is too much on your knees, the modification is like so. You just go fully onto the torso like so. The knees and feet are supported, and bring your forehead down like so. So if the knees are talking back to you, this is an option for supported child's pose. So in either case, we'll hold this for about 6 minutes. If you are at all chilly, that's going to affect your ability to relax. So don't forget to have something to cover yourself with. In child's pose here, we have some pressure on the abdominal cavity. It's a very nurturing posture. But you might feel some opening through the back ribs. And here we're just noticing sensation. So we're not aiming or efforting to make it something it's not. One more breath here, and then push your hands into the floor and raise your torso up off the bolster. And our next posture will be very similar with the setup. Normally we have two folded blankets, so I would recommend having the second one handy, keeping the other right where we have it now, taking the other folded blanket or pillow or extra shirt. And this will be a side twist. So keeping the bolster, if you had it without any blocks, now we will elevate it. We'll take one or two, just kind of playing with the height, seeing how things are. Again, you're going to sit with your knees apart on your left hip. We use the left side first. You get pretty close with the hip right up against the bolster. The second, I'm on my one folded blanket. The second is just going to pad the knee so it doesn't just sit on my ankle bone and be sharp. And then we're going to take our torso, walk our torso down, lying on the left side of the body, putting the left temple down like so, and then relaxing the arms either by your sides or again underneath. So similar to the child's pose, a very soft and nurturing position, but now just with a slight twist. So if you feel any discomfort in the low back, extend out the top leg, or alternatively, you can bring it up like so. We can bring it higher or lower. So I'll have to trust that you'll find the most delicious way of setting yourself up. Because we're not in the same space, I can't come around and adjust like I really like to. So remember that restorative is not about straining. We want to have a very delicious, comfy, supported posture. Hold this for about 5 minutes, and then we'll do the other side. As I mentioned, the term aparigrapha, feel if you can avoid the gripping shape with your hands here in this shape. As you exhale, just release the muscles in the fingers and in the hands. Just see how that is. Take one more breath here, and then slowly push your hands into the floor, lift your torso up off of the support. And then we're just gonna, with as few movements as possible, go turn to the other side. So take any adjustments that you know you need, setting your blanket up like so, bringing the right hip toward the base of the support, walking yourself down, planting the right facial temple area now onto the bolster. And finding a very gentle twist to the right. Particularly paying attention to feeling the support beneath you, that you can let yourself sink. Notice how your spine feels, how that compares to our initial visualization. Seeing it go back and forth, meandering like a river. Feel the just architecture of the shape, even in this twisted pose. Take one more breath here. And push your hands into the floor and ease your way up off of the pillow or bolster. And then move yourself into a seated position. We'll bring the blankets down to the end of the mat just now. Our next posture will be on our backs. So I'll have you have bolster right horizontally on your mat. If you don't have a bolster, you can also use a pile of blankets, or you can use 2 blocks. So, and the blanket does have an optional role here as well. So we're going to come onto our backs, the soles of the feet down on the floor. Okay, first just bring the arms out away from the body a little bit with the palms facing up. Make sure that you're lining up your ankles with your hips and they're not wider than that. And just feel for the neutrality here after we did some gentle twists. Just feel the spine go back into its neutral shape. And then we're going to take our bolster, breathe in, and rise into bridge pose. So we lift the hips and place this support just underneath the pelvis. So just be mindful that you don't have it too high and it's on the small of the back. So if you feel the edge of the bolster or pillow, you should be able to feel your hip bones. And then you can keep your feet the same distance apart. You can bring your knees in just a bit. Or if you like, you can extend all the way out. If you just like a little bit more of a stretch through the low back. And then as I mentioned, if you like, you can take the blanket like so, for either just a little extra weight here or even all over the knees. So see if you can find just the right deliciousness. And you're not very high up, but you are elevated. So technically this is a back bend. Close your eyes and make sure that you're not working it. We started the practice with poses that hold our heart and support us with the back body open. So this pose can be a little more, can make you feel a little more vulnerable just because the chest is open. Just notice whatever sensations are there. Use the words of Jane Austen. There's no charm equal to the tenderness of the heart. One more breath here in this shape. And then take the blanket off your belly or knees if you've had that. Lift up the hips and then move the bolster out to the side. Just letting yourself come back down to neutral spine once again. Stay here a few breaths before we move anymore. And then with moving as few ways as possible, our next posture will be a sideline shavasana. So how that will look is bringing your bolster to the front of you, taking a block, or maybe depending on how your neck is, it may be just fine to just use a rolled folded blanket. I like to use a block because it's a bit steadier for me. So we're going on our left side, bringing the temple, just the space right above the left ear on the block, or as I said, the blanket. We'll bring the knees together. We'll hold the bolster like so my arm goes over the top, or like so, and I hug it. It's a little warm where I am, but if you like the other blanket to pad the knees or cover you, go ahead and do so. But it's like a stuffed animal or some little toy you're holding on to. So let it be very cozy, very comfortable, and make sure you're not keeping the neck too high. So it might be just fine to have it here just resting on that blanket. So side lying shavasana. You're all doing your job with becoming experts at having things just exactly how you need them. It can take a long time to learn and determine and achieve. So take the extra time to make it right, make it perfect. And then settle in and see what you can release, see what falls away. You still the body, allow the mind to become slightly more still. Another breath here in this shape. And then just how we switched sides, the other pose, just roll yourself over now onto the right side, taking your bolster or pillow with you, taking anything else to pad the knees that you need, and snuggle in to side Shavasana here on the right side. Noticing the pause between your breaths. Take another breath here. And slowly just bring the blanket out from between your knees, release the bolster. And come back onto your back. And then for our final pose, most of you are familiar with legs up the wall. I didn't remind you or ask you to bring a strap, so that's my bad. I really like to do legs up the wall with the strap around my thighs. So if you have a strap, don't bother going to get one, it doesn't really matter. But if you have a strap, we're going to take ourselves like so. And strap or no, hopefully you're near a wall or you're near a sofa or chair. So you can just move your yoga mat close to the wall or just ditch the yoga mat and just go close to the wall. So like I said, I'm bringing my strap like so. So I'm bringing that right here onto my legs. Now, onto just above the knees. A lot of people use a blanket underneath their hips or even a bolster. I'm just going to show you the regular way. You can take any props that you'd like. You come close to the wall and then bring yourself up like so. So first start with your knees bent and then kind of wriggle yourself closer to the wall or further away. Feel free to bring the blanket underneath you, underneath your hips or even over your belly. And then if you have a strap, it just helps to keep your legs aligned without you doing a lot of the effort. Let the arms come out to the sides if that feels right. And if you like, you can cover your eyes if you have a little shirt or something to block out the light. You also might feel that you want to bring the energy into the center and put the hands on the belly. So find the perfect legs up the wall. And right away, you'll probably feel a kind of a less pressure, sort of a decrease in the ache of the legs and feet. Just enjoy the effect that gravity is having on your circulation here and let everything go. As you yield to the support that's right beneath you, pay special attention to your hands. Open them slightly and visualize something letting go, whatever you are holding. Feel for where the practice has increased space. Find some ease as you set aside the effort and let be what is. Feel right into your core that you have everything that you need. And may this practice help you take this presence with you off the mat into the rest of your lives. Slowly bring your awareness back to where you are. Take a deep breath in and full breath out. And your knees just a little bit. Release the strap if you have that prop. Otherwise, just bring yourself gently onto one side, keeping the knees bent, avoiding any fast movements or popping right up. Just savoring the last bit, quiet, serenity. A place that you created. And then when you're ready, make your way back up to seated. And keep your eyes softly closed or just gaze down. So feel for what the practice had for you today. Feel for space. Maybe feel for a release in some way of whatever has been held. Bring your hands to heart center. I thank you all for always turning up, for being present for my class, for supporting my efforts, and for your aparigrata, your generosity, your abundance. And I have a lot of gratitude for all my students. So thank you, thank you. Thank you for always turning up. Namaste.